Man, I'm heated. I really am. I am legitimately sweating my balls off here. Man, I'm tired. I really am. I don't know how I will be throughout a Friday episode here today. I'm tired. I am sore. I am frustrated. And all I want to do is put my head down, close my eyes, and go to sleep. It is 8:30 on a Thursday night, and Super Showdown had just ended. And I'm just now feeling that frustration that at first when Super Showdown ended was an emotion of laughing hysterically. I didn't know what to do or how to act when I seen the outcome of the Universal title match between Goldberg and Bray Wyatt. My first reaction was to laugh. And I made it a point to start the review and not really come out throwing my hat and pretending like this is the end of the fucking world. I'm not going to come on here and rant and rave and bitch and moan about things that I really don't have any control over. I wanted to approach this in a way, and I might be maturing as a podcaster. I don't know. I'll still rant and rave and give you guys the entertainment that you have come to know and love here, but I figured that it would do me no good if I ranted on the outcome of the main event of Super Showdown. I almost wanted to attack this as if I was a lawyer, and I was defending my case in front of a grand jury, and I was trying to prove that my client is innocent and that he should be free of all charges. And I think I did a damn good job at presenting my case to the grand jury on the Super Showdown review. And I hit on all the high points, all the key points that I've honestly been spewing for the last couple of weeks in the lead up to this match between Goldberg and Bray Wyatt. I think I did a damn good job. Social media on Thursday afternoon, going into Thursday night, going into Friday, as I record this, people are still talking about it. I'm not sure if WWE had this by design. This is what they like to do. They like to get people talking, whether it's all negative or all positive or in between. You're talking about the company. That's all they want. They couldn't give a shit if you're upset, if you're happy, if you're indifferent. They don't give a shit about that. They don't. They want to know what is best for their bottom line, and they want to do what's best to gain the company a lot of likes and social media attention, and they want WWE buzzing. That's what they want. Social media on Thursday afternoon, all the way up until today, and I'm sure it's going to be all through the weekend, because we got SmackDown on Friday tonight, and then we got Raw on Monday. It's going to be a big talking point until we get to WrestleMania. Cancer. The internet wrestling community was literally engulfed in flames. I was at the forefront of that. A lot of people agreed with my take on what happened with Bray Wyatt and Bill Goldberg. A lot of people. 4,000 likes on a tweet I put out immediately after the show was over. It's still accumulating likes. I didn't know what to expect with the backlash. I honestly thought that there was going to be a lot more of a mixed reaction with Goldberg winning. I think we were all in the mindset that Goldberg was going to win, and we weren't going to think much of it. And then when we seen the reality just hit us in the face, it was like, what are these people doing? Honestly, what are they doing? What are they thinking? Why would you take the title off of him 6 weeks before WrestleMania? It doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. And I see a tweet by Bully Ray. Yeah, that Bully Ray. Busted Open Bully Ray. ECW legend Bully Ray. See a tweet by Bully Ray. And obviously, I had to quote tweet him and let my fans see the sheer stupidity that came from the Busted Open gang Now, I enjoy Bully Ray's take. I think he is a very knowledgeable individual. But I also know that he has WWE employees on his show. He has members of the WWE roster, whether they're the Hall of Fame roster, people affiliated with the WWE, people with connections and ties to the WWE, working on Busted Open every single week. I know his opinion is his opinion, but I know he will never go out there and publicly blast the company even when they rightfully deserve it, which is a notion and a mentality that I can't stand. You're not being genuine with your fan base, and more importantly, you're not being genuine with yourself. If you justify what happened at the end of Super Showdown, you are the cause of the problem. You are the reason why this company refuses to change. You are the reason why this company refuses to get better. How could you go out there and publicly spew garbage knowing that you are in the wrong? An opinion is an opinion, yes, but stupidity is contagious. I don't value an opinion when I know it's made out of sheer stupidity. Your opinion means nothing to me at that point. You didn't do anything to offer me a justification of why Bill Goldberg won the Universal Championship. This is what he tweeted, and I quote, "If you're shocked or angry about Goldberg becoming the new Universal Champion, you just don't get it. It's WrestleMania season, kiddies. ... I quote tweeted that and said how anybody could justify this scenario, whether you are in the industry or not, is really sad to see. I didn't even publicly blast him. I could. But knowing that he works with House of Glory and he's friends with people in House of Glory and I value my job there, I don't want to publicly say anything bad about Bully Ray. Is Bully Ray right? Of course not. Of course he's not right. He's shilling WWE at that point. What don't we exactly get? I don't know where it's written in stone that the old age home needs to fill up the majority of the top spots at WrestleMania. Is that what I don't understand? Are you trying to justify legends taking top spots at WrestleMania when you have the most youthful and talented roster that this company has ever seen? You mean to tell me trotting out legends and old-timers for marquee WrestleMania matches every single year is right for business? I don't find that to be right for business. I find that to be creatively lazy. I find that to be that WWE doesn't value, trust anybody that's on the active roster right now. That they don't want to push new talent because they don't value the new talent. They're afraid to push new talent. I don't know what they're so afraid of. I don't know what they're so afraid of. Or maybe they're not just afraid and they're just plain stupid. Maybe they don't have the capabilities to book said youthful, vibrant young talent. What exactly don't I get? Roman Reigns and Bill Goldberg is more than likely the Universal Championship match at WrestleMania. Mr. Ray, what exactly don't I get in regards to Roman Reigns versus Bill Goldberg? Does Roman Reigns and Bill Goldberg need the Universal Championship? The answer is no. The answer is no. You did nothing to justify why this match needs the Universal Championship. Which match needed the Universal Championship more? That or John Cena versus Bray Wyatt? I could give you every reason under the sun why John Cena and Bray Wyatt needed the Universal Championship, and Roman Reigns and Goldberg did not. Goldberg is 53 years old. Goldberg is not here anymore. Goldberg comes out and polishes off his fucking boots. Goldberg cleans his trunks, shines his bald head, uses Just for Men, just in time for $2 million payday, one time a year, twice a year, if that, for WWE Saudi shows. He's someone that doesn't give a shit about the business. Goldberg doesn't care about what anybody in the WWE thinks. Goldberg doesn't care about that said youthful, vibrant, talented young roster. He had no problem holding up that Universal Championship at the end of that show. It was pretty much him smiling with him doing this without actually doing that in front of the camera. Him smiling with the Universal Championship was a big fuck you to everybody on that show. I don't know if you watched, but I actually went back and watched highlights of the match, and Bray Wyatt's demeanor was that of fuck you. I don't believe I'm sitting here doing this job for Bill Goldberg. What don't I get, Mr. Ray? What don't I get? I get everything. I'm the fucking smartest guy in this community. I know everything about the WWE from a talking point standpoint better than anybody. People are afraid to work with me because they know I'm right. People won't associate with me or work with me in any capacity because I'm too real. I'm too truthful. Why is that? Are you afraid of the truth? Do you like sugarcoating everything in regards to WWE, in which the product right now is at its worst state ever, and it gets worse every single year? Every single year. What don't I exactly get, Mr. Bully Ray? Again, I'd love for anybody, including you, to tell me why Goldberg and Roman Reigns needs the Universal Championship. How is Goldberg and Roman Reigns greater than John Cena chasing number 17? Whether he wins or not is inconsequential. It doesn't mean anything. We know he wouldn't win the title. We know he wouldn't win the title for two reasons. He said so. He said in a report, in an interview, he don't want it. And why would he win the title when he can't defend said title? Due to his movie commitments in Hollywood. So how do you justify Goldberg and Roman Reigns needing the Universal Championship over John Cena and Bray Wyatt? John Cena chasing number 17, Bray Wyatt seeking revenge for a win that he should have never had to give John Cena at WrestleMania 30. The unpredictability factor of John Cena is always there. John Cena is one of the more unpredictable characters in WWE history. He could win a match, he could win a championship at the drop of a dime, you just don't know it. That's why everybody so badly wanted John Cena versus The Undertaker in their prime at WrestleMania, while the streak was still intact at WrestleMania. For that reason. Because John Cena was unpredictable. It would have been edge of your seat action. Nobody wanted John Cena to break that streak, but the appeal of John Cena, that's what he brings to a match. That's what he would have brought to Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania. And on top of that, the cherry on top of the cake here would be Bray Wyatt would have a solid title reign under his belt instead of losing it to Bill Goldberg. Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, The Miz, Daniel Bryan, Bill Goldberg, John Cena, and whomever WWE came up with in the spring and summer months leading up to SummerSlam, where he would have inevitably lost it to Roman Reigns. So again, I'd love for you to tell me why Bill Goldberg and Roman Reigns needs the Universal Championship over a match like John Cena and Bray Wyatt. I don't understand the justification in that logic. Bill Goldberg is Bill Goldberg with a Universal Championship or not. Bill Goldberg is a supposed star. Where is it written in the fucking rule book that he needs a Universal Championship? Goldberg was going to be a draw. Goldberg was going to be a marquee match with or without a championship. WWE purposely took the championship off of Bray Wyatt because he fell in line with everything else. Flavor of the month. But in this instance, his flavor of the month lasted since August. WWE seemed to want a new flavor going into WrestleMania, and that flavor is Roman Reigns. Goldberg isn't even a flavor. The flavor in this situation is WWE took the Universal Championship off of Bray Wyatt because they knew doing Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania was never going to work out for them. Their master plan all along was to get Roman Reigns as Universal Champion at WrestleMania and coronate him at WrestleMania. That was their plan all along. And the coronation needs to be exactly how WWE wants it. You see, if Bray Wyatt was still as over as he was in front of the WWE fans, Roman Reigns beating Bray Wyatt would have never gone over, and we would have been looking at a WrestleMania 32 scenario. We would have been looking at a Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns situation. It would have resulted in a disastrous situation. He would have been booed out of the building if he stood tall at WrestleMania by taking down The Fiend. Goldberg was put in a position to take the title off of Bray Wyatt. He's going to be vilified for it. He's the most hated man in the industry right now for what he did to the most popular guy on the roster. So now everybody's calling for Bill Goldberg's head. They don't care who makes the execution. They don't care who swings the axe and chops the head off the beast now. Roman Reigns is going to be the one swinging the axe. People will embrace it. They might not fully embrace it. We still have a very likely scenario that Roman Reigns will be booed out of the building. Because everybody is not as stupid as WWE thinks they are. This agenda, this political bullshit with Roman Reigns is going to rear its ugly head very, very, very soon. If not already. Thanks to people like me. Because I am not afraid to speak up. And I see right through WWE shit. I don't need to be a pro wrestler. I don't need to run the ropes. I don't need to take a fucking bump. I don't need to throw a fucking punch. I don't need to do any of that. I don't need to work in the business to understand WWE. I could simply watch, dissect, and understand and analyze everything from the comfort of my own couch with my iPad in front of me. I don't need to do any of that. WWE's intentions are crystal clear. Roman Reigns and Goldberg is a political agenda to get Roman Reigns at the top of WWE once again. If they didn't want Roman Reigns as Universal Champion, if they didn't want to push this agenda, if they didn't want this WrestleMania to be another coronation of a failed act that will never be embraced by the majority of the fan base as the man, then they would have went the other way, a way that makes more sense, a way that's more logical, a way that tells a greater story in the end. I don't see how anybody could justify anything that happened at Super Showdown. I really don't. Bray Wyatt's dead. So exactly, Mr. Ray, what don't I understand? What exactly don't I understand? I think I understand everything all too well. Maybe I should be the co-host of Busted Open. Because apparently you ain't doing the right job and getting the right point across to your listeners. Most of your listeners seem to be brainwashed if they're listening to fucking tweets such as that like you posted after Super Showdown. Absolutely disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. I have no problem with Bully Ray. I got a problem with people who don't own up to the fact that this company fucked up. Fucked up. I got all this WrestleMania news, I'm sure, for Saturday's show. The card has changed. Vince has gone in a completely different direction. I don't know what's going to happen at WrestleMania. This one outcome has soured everybody on WrestleMania. Macaulay Culkin, home alone. Macaulay Culkin sold his ticket to WrestleMania. Tweeted at WWE, I'm selling my ticket to WrestleMania as soon as Goldberg won the Universal Championship. That speaks volumes. That speaks volumes. That speaks volumes greater than people canceling their network subscriptions when you got celebrities tweeting at WWE saying that they're going to sell their ticket to WrestleMania because of what they did at Super Showdown. Because those people know that what I'm stating is correct. That's a problem. If I'm WWE PR and I'm looking at that and I'm hearing that and I'm catching wind of that, I feel like a complete fucking idiot that I'm working for a company that doesn't give a shit about anybody but themselves. Truly disgraceful. Absolutely fucking disgraceful. I'm going to rant about this until the end of WrestleMania season. It deserves to be ranted on until the end of WrestleMania season. Guys, I'm tired. I am sore. I went to the gym before this show. I made a promise with my good friend Sean that we were going to go to the gym. And he's been losing weight, and I want to tone up. I want to get ready for the summer. I want to do what I got to do. I want to look right. And I pushed myself a little bit too hard in the gym, and then I had to come home and watch Super Showdown, and I had to record all this audio, video content for you guys. And I'm going to keep up on it, man. I need a reason to get out of the house. I feel like I'm cooped up in the house all day long, working on content, working on podcasts, this and that. It's like, it's tough when I actually do get out. I don't want to do anything. I go out, I have a beer, I'm tired, I come home, I sleep. I feel like I do nothing but sleep, pro wrestling, sleep, pro wrestling, the life of a YouTube content creator. But listen, man, nobody does it like I do. My work ethic, I push myself to do this shit every single day. And it's tough, man. It ain't easy. It ain't easy to have a life outside of all the content that I put up every single day, every single week. It consumes you at certain times. You might be having a great time doing it, and you get to a point where you got this nice string of momentum, and then one day it just all comes crashing down on you, man. It's like, Jesus Christ, all I want to do is sleep. All I want to do is pop open a beer. All I want to do is sit on the couch and do nothing. So I took myself to the gym, and now I feel 10 times worse than when I did yesterday morning. It sucks, man. And then I had to watch this Super Showdown show. But I'm here. I don't know what type of version of JD you're going to get on this show. Usually the show goes 2 hours. I already ranted for, 22 minutes on this shit. Bully Ray pissed me the fuck off, man. What a clown. What a clown. Anyway, this is off the script. I got a ton going into the show. You guys know the deal with Friday show. Raw, SmackDown, and NXT AEW reviews. We got all of that going on. All the news coming out of SmackDown last Friday. All the news going into SmackDown this Friday. Got the news coming out of Monday Night Raw. Got all the news coming out of NXT, which I didn't even do an NXT review. We'll go over some of the big happenings on NXT. We'll do a mini review here on the podcast today. But the big story I got, WWE is reportedly offering Matt Hardy a spot in NXT to remain with World Wrestling Entertainment. I can't even begin to tell you how much wrong is in that title of that story. That shows WWE is not only incredibly desperate to keep Matt Hardy from going to AEW, which everybody anticipates him going to AEW anyway, but it's WWE admitting that, hi, we can't creatively book for you on the main roster, so please stay in NXT and we'll creatively book you better. There's just no room for you on the main roster. Or we just don't want to book creatively for you, and we would rather be lazy when it comes to you because you're old and you're not really doing anything for us right now. That's what that says about Matt Hardy. And cycling back to the Goldberg thing, speaking of old, it just crossed my mind. Remember when Baron Corbin made fun of all the marks, claiming that Chris Jericho was the right guy to be the first AEW World Champion? And here we are in 2020. Here we are in 2020, Baron Corbin. Man, you look stupid and more stupid every fucking time I think about you. Remember when Jericho won the world title from Adam Hangman Page and became the inaugural AEW World Champion, and everybody, including Corbin, made fun of AEW for doing it and then cited the fact that if WWE did the same thing, everybody would shit on it, but you're all praising Chris Jericho. Now we sit here in March of 2020, and WWE has two part-time champions. One on Raw with Brock Lesnar, and one 53 years old on SmackDown, and Bill Goldberg. So Baron Corbin, that statement really didn't age all that well now, did it? Fucking clown. I am here to save you all from this stupidity in the YWC, man. So I got a lot of news. We're going to go over it all right here on Off the Script. This is episode 315, part number 1 for your Friday, February 28th, 2020. AEW's got their Revolution pay-per-view. We will be doing preview and predictions tomorrow on the podcast, so look forward to that. I already have my notes all situated for this show, so I'm not going to add more on top of what I already have here. But we'll do the AEW Revolution preview and predictions on Saturday afternoon. We'll do the AEW Revolution review on Saturday night. It's going to be a busy weekend. Should be a great show, so make sure you guys are sticking with me for all the AEW action this weekend. If you missed the Monday Night Raw, if you missed the AEW Dynamite go-home show for Revolution, if you missed my Super Showdown review, which did incredibly well, thank you to everybody that came out and showed some support. If you guys missed any of that content, links will be down in the description of this very video, so go and check all of that stuff out. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That is on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you for 30,000 followers on Twitter, man. We finally eclipsed 30,000 followers. I'm just waiting for my blue check mark. That's all I'm waiting for, man. So make sure you guys do that. Instagram, same thing, at JD from NY206. Shout out to my brother Frank. If you guys seen the introduction to Off the Script this weekend here on Friday, Tim playing the drums to the Off the Script theme, which he wrote and recorded with his guy Tony. So if you guys want to go check out my brother and his band and his new music, he's got a new single out, Voices of the Voiceless. Link will be down in the description as well, along with everything else. Go and check it out. You guys can purchase that and everything else from my brother Frank and his band Legionary at his official website. So make sure you guys go and do all of that. Patreon.com/JD from NY206 is the place if you guys want to show some extra appreciation for the podcast. And most importantly, hit that thumbs up, which you've already should have done at this point. Hit that thumbs up, turn on that bell for all notifications, and hit that subscribe button. We are at 115,000 strong right here on YouTube. So thank you guys for all of the support. Start off with the SmackDown rating. SmackDown rating for February 21, 2020. SmackDown's episode on Friday drew an average of 2.49 million viewers in the overnight ratings, according to Showbuzz Daily. Hour 1 drew 2.542 million viewers, and then Hour 2 dropped to 2.438 million viewers. SmackDown also drew an average of 0.7 in the 18 to 49 demographic, which was number 1 on Friday night. If the number holds up, it would be up from the previous SmackDown episode on Friday, which drew an average of 2.464 million viewers with a 0.7 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. SmackDown was number 8 for the night. Among the networks in viewership, it was behind Fresh Off the Boat. What is that, a show about exporting? Fresh off the boat? I don't know, man. Sounds interesting. I love me some boats. I wish I could throw Bill Goldberg over the fucking boat with the Universal Championship so it's never seen again. 2020, MacGyver, Hawaii 5-0, send me to fucking Hawaii after the shitty outcome of Super Showdown. Blue Bloods, Lincoln Rhyme, and Dateline. Hawaii 5-0 topped the night at 6.535 million viewers. Man, that's a lot of cold beverages and nice pineapples with the little straw and the umbrella coming out on top. I could use one right about now. It'll calm my fucking muscles. It'll certainly calm me down after that super letdown show on Thursday night. SmackDown is awful. It continues to be the worst show in the industry. I'd love to see what Bully Ray says about SmackDown every week. This is why I don't listen to Busted Open Radio. If there's any justification for SmackDown on that show, it is unlistenable garbage at that point. I can't listen to anybody defend SmackDown when I know that it is the worst show in the industry at the moment. There's no good coming out of SmackDown. None. It is boring rubbish. Now, the go-home show, which featured Goldberg, obviously, was the reason why they were up. Not by much, but they were up. Goldberg was there in the flesh this time. He speared Bray Wyatt, and he sold the match. Funhouse was on. He showed up in the ring. Goldberg speared him. Goodbye. So not only did Bray Wyatt take a beating on the go-home show, he was fed to Goldberg at the actual show in Saudi Arabia. Sucks to be Bray Wyatt now, doesn't it? I mentioned this on the Super Showdown review, man. Can you imagine Bray Wyatt on the flight back to the United States asking himself, what the fuck did I do wrong? Probably looking at Roman, asking, Roman, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong that these people hate me so much? Can you imagine all the love and the passion and the dedication that he put into the concept of the character, into the mask, into the lantern, into the funhouse, coming up with the skits and the idea for the puppets, and then executing all of that? Imagine putting all of that, all of your brainchild in the hands of WWE to ultimately have them fuck it all up and then kill your career for a second time. That's who I feel bad for. That's who I genuinely feel bad for. It's amazing how they did not tap into his creativity, how they did not tap into the appeal and the character of The Fiend. They really could have made something epic out of it. How could we kill The Fiend? How could we come up with a challenge for The Fiend to really break him down, find his weakness, and then beat him in this epic clash between heel and babyface? It'll be like a psychological thriller. They didn't tap into any of that. I don't even know what the Fiend's weakness was. What was the Fiend's weakness? I'll tell you what the Fiend's weakness was. It was WWE creative. Everybody wanted to know what the Fiend's weakness was. Was it the mask? Is it the red lighting? It's none of that. Is it the lantern? It's none of that. It's WWE creative. That's his weakness. The fucking rambling rabbit wanted to know, I got a secret to the Fiend's weakness. Yeah, so do I. So do I. It's the people who write Friday's show. That's who the fucking weakness is to the Fiend. Awful. Absolutely awful. No justifying this garbage. SmackDown had a Symphony of Destruction match, which is a perfect name for what happened at Super Showdown on Thursday night. Everyone in the Symphony of Destruction match between Braun Strowman, Elias, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Everybody in this match was injured on Friday night. Dumb fucking match. It was entertaining, I'll give it that, but it was reckless and it was stupid. And none of these guys needed to be hurt at all. WWE held this Symphony of Destruction match on Friday Night SmackDown. It was a musical-themed, brutal match without any explanation, was given without any explanation. And Shinsuke Nakamura was busted open with several staples required because Braun Strowman power slammed him on top of a piano, a grand piano, in which the piano was supposed to break in half, and Nakamura, instead of going through the piano, landed on the back or the top of the piano with his head coming down on the edging of the piano. Staples. So, he was hurt. Cesaro, he might have been hurt or banged up off of an elbow drop by Elias on the top turnbuckle. Elias put him through a table with a beautiful-looking elbow drop. I got to give him credit. Elias has a very good-looking elbow drop. Now, during Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez brought up the fact that Shinsuke Nakamura wasn't the only man who left the match with an injury. He says, and I quote, well, Nakamura was bleeding everywhere and got stitches. You know that all four of those guys in that match, I don't want to say hurt, but they were banged up. Maybe I can say hurt, but not injured. I forget what the terminology is. All four guys had something bad happen to them in that stupid match. Now, these gimmick matches, they're really not a necessity on these shows. It goes to show you that WWE is reckless with their talent. It goes to show you that there is no storyline for these guys. And WWE, in their lazy creative writing, they try to get by these shows as easy and as quick and as efficient as possible. And they put no creativity into it. There's no reason why Strowman should be feuding with Nakamura still. There's no reason why Cesaro should be feuding with Elias. There's no reason for any of it. It was over when Strowman won the championship. And WWE, just like a broken record, every single week gives you some type of variation to whatever feud they got going on. It could be a one-on-one match. It could be Elias versus Cesaro. It could be Strowman versus Nakamura. It could be Cesaro versus Strowman. It could be Elias versus Nakamura. Then they'll do the tag team match. That's writing in a way that shows me you're lazy. There's no creativity there. This is nothing more than how can we continue this feud on this week's show because we don't really want to give anything away on the go-home show for Super Showdown. That's all that was. Nobody needed to be hurt in this match. Reckless and unnecessary. Unnecessary. Strowman needs to lose that title immediately. I can't even look at Braun Strowman holding the Intercontinental title. He needs to lose that title immediately. Sheamus, where are you, bro? You've been ranting and raving that the Intercontinental title is the only title that you have not held in the WWE. I am waiting for a bro kick to take down the loser among men. Can't wait. Not that the match is going to be any good. They're two big guys. I'm sure they'll deliver a very hard-hitting match. I'm not expecting a Mac Classic, but I know what I expect out of the Intercontinental title, and it's about time WWE starts giving the Intercontinental title some love. Having it on Braun Strowman shows me that you hate the Intercontinental title. Braun Strowman is a dead act that WWE has passed on more than one occasion. They could have had him be the guy, and they didn't want to do it for whatever reason. WWE has failed to get Braun Strowman over in a way in which he could be looked at as a legitimate guy on this brand for this company. And now he's nothing more than a mid-card novelty act that I don't know if you guys realize can run fast. Very one-dimensional. I don't look at Braun Strowman as an Intercontinental Champion. I'm sorry. Speaking of Braun Strowman, he's already challenging Tyson Fury to a match at WrestleMania. I don't know who on this planet would love to see that, and I'm sure Bully Ray is on his podcast saying, well, WWE's got to get Tyson Fury at WrestleMania. No, they do not. I'm sorry, what did Tyson Fury do for SmackDown when he was on building towards that ridiculous and worthless garbage Super Showdown match or Crown Jewel, whatever fucking event it was called? With Braun Strowman, what did he do for ratings there? Did he boost the ratings? Did people go out of their way to watch Tyson fucking Fury on WWE TV? What's the difference between Fury then and Fury now? Fury was a winner then. He was a world boxing champion then. He's still a world boxing champion now. What's the difference? Now you'll be removed a month and a half from his match with Deontay Wilder to get him on WrestleMania, and the results are going to be the same. What's the difference? None. Tyson Fury needs to stay away from WWE. He needs to stay away from WrestleMania. This guy has no role waiting for him at WrestleMania. He's not wanted. He's not wanted. Tyson Fury is not scheduled for a WrestleMania role in Tampa, thank God. Or at least in the ring. He might be there, but he might not be in the ring. After his impressive TKO victory over Deontay Wilder on Saturday night, WWE would be crazy, according to sources, not to get him on the show. How stupid does Deontay Wilder look saying that he wants a rematch because I was winded because of my really heavy outfit that I came wielding out to the ring? Who the fuck told you to wear all of that weight via the costume during your ring entrance? You fucking idiot. Seriously, it is your own fault you lost. Maybe go into a match next time and do what you gotta do and leave the theatrics at home. Let what you do in the ring do the talking for you. He opted to be Mr. fucking King, Mr. Big Shot, right? He wanted to look like something out of Lord of the Rings, and he failed. Tyson Fury beat the shit out of him. Following the fight, WWE Intercontinental Champion Braun Strowman issued a challenge to Fury, and he offered to put his title on the line. He tweeted, "Hell of a W at Tyson Fury. What you say? Want to try your luck for my Intercontinental Championship? Hashtag let's run it back. Hashtag give the world what they want." Who in the world is asking for this? Who wants this? Nobody. You may be the only one who ever used that hashtag in regards to this match, Strowman. Woohoo! You know, he does the whole running thing. Yeah, you guys know. He runs fast. WWE, right now, the rumor was that if Tyson Fury won, Vince would go out and pay him to be at WrestleMania. If he lost, Vince wanted nothing to do with him at WrestleMania. Now, his stock is obviously rising due to the win, and his asking price might be a lot for doing basically nothing at WrestleMania. So, WWE has plenty of options. If they want to go with the biggest names available, then Triple H and Goldberg are possibilities right now for WrestleMania. Goldberg being the Universal Champion, and Triple H right now doesn't have a scheduled match for WrestleMania, and he should not have a scheduled match in Tampa. Triple H and Stephanie actually were at the fight in Vegas on Saturday night, and Triple H also sent out a congratulations to Tyson Fury. Keep him at home. Seriously, nobody wants to see him at WrestleMania, and it does nothing for WWE TV. Absolutely nothing. Back to actual storylines and things that matter on SmackDown. The only thing that matters on SmackDown is Mandy Rose and Otis, big man Otis. Now, despite not being positioned as a main event guy, there is no denying that Otis is the most over babyface on the entire WWE roster right now. That is a fact. It is very difficult to refute that statement. Otis and Mandy right now is the most interesting storyline in all of WWE TV. And if you don't agree with me, if you don't like that, if you don't like that I'm saying it, tough fucking shit. Go and get your own podcast and tell people what you think is the most important storyline on WWE TV. I'm sure there'll be people out there saying, oh, Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns is the most important storyline on WWE TV. Michael Cole was correct in calling it a classic. Classic what? Trash? Classic when? What about this was classic? I'll tell you what was classic every time that I fell asleep during them being on TV. I'll tell you what was classic every time I picked up the fucking remote control to change the fucking channel. I'll tell you what was classic, my rants on Baron Corbin on last Friday's show. Go and check it out. Link is down below. Otis is the most over babyface. This is the most intriguing storyline in all of WWE. With regards to Otis and what he's doing at WrestleMania in April in Tampa, Dave Meltzer is reporting that the former NXT superstar, part of Heavy Machinery, will go head-to-head with Dolph Ziggler. Meltzer did not specify whether Otis and Ziggler will go one-on-one in a singles match on the show, or if they will be both a part of the multi-man match where all of this will come to blows. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. The conversation about Otis' place on the WrestleMania card came about when Dave Meltzer said that Dolph Ziggler will not be wrestling John Cena on the show because he has plans with Otis. I think Dolph Ziggler or Meltzer said that Dolph Ziggler had possible or potential plans with John Cena, that he could be one of the guys that John Cena fights at WrestleMania. Why the fuck would that even be a thing? Seriously? John Cena versus Dolph Ziggler at WrestleMania. Dolph Ziggler should not even be with the WWE at this juncture. He's dead. He's a dead act. Nobody takes him seriously. Now, this is going to be a big deal. This is money. If WWE plays their cards right and doesn't have Otis and Mandy, break down, or if they don't have Mandy turn on Otis or betray him or break his heart, if Otis gets the girl at WrestleMania, whether it's the pre-show or not, I will gladly watch the pre-show for that, because I just don't see it making the main card, even though I think it should, being that it's the most important storyline on SmackDown right now. Most entertaining and most intriguing storyline on SmackDown. But I think this is great because you don't usually see WWE give us, the fans, the outcome that we want. They always do everything to shit on the fans. If the fans want something, they'll do the opposite. And WWE is petty. With someone like Otis, someone who looks like Otis, who's a sweetheart I can imagine, who's someone I look at as a real breakout guy in this company. I always loved Heavy Machinery, ever since I seen them in WWE and NXT. WWE would be petty and look at somebody like Otis and look at somebody like Otis with his body type. What is he doing with Mandy Rose? They might intentionally be petty and fuck him over and have Mandy end up with Dolph, But this is absolutely a WrestleMania match that is money for the company. This is what WrestleMania stands for. Something simple like this feud. This is what WrestleMania is for. A culmination of a storyline that we actually want to see the payoff for. And Otis getting the girl, Otis getting Mandy, whether you agree with me or not, Otis getting the big kiss at WrestleMania is a WrestleMania moment. That's a WrestleMania moment. And this all came about because of Otis kind of drumming up his own storyline on social media with Mandy Rose all those years ago in NXT. He's always called Mandy Rose his little peach. Always. And the fact that whatever he was stating on social media is now turning into a full-fledged storyline with a possible payoff with him getting Mandy Rose is an amazing thing to see. This is what happens when you got someone as genuine as Otis in a storyline. Everyone is rooting for Otis. Everyone. Now, I don't know what the match could be. It could be Otis versus Dolph. It could be a one-on-one match and Mandy is in Dolph's corner and then actually ends up turning on Dolph and helps Otis win, just like Otis helped Mandy not get eliminated from the Royal Rumble with him saving her from that one elimination, if you guys remember that. Or it could be who sent the text. Was it Sonya Deville who sent the text? Could be. Mandy's like, what text? Well, Mandy supposedly sent a text that she was running late, but she was there, and Otis was taking his time, which allowed Dolph Ziggler to walk on in and sit down and have dinner with Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose asks, what text? I never sent any text. So someone clearly had Mandy Rose, she, whoever had Mandy Rose's phone, right? Had to be Sonya Deville. There's only one culprit here. It could be Sonya Deville. Who else has Mandy Rose's phone? It's not going to be Tucker. Maybe it was Dolph. And then Dolph really showed up at the restaurant saying, hey, Mandy, what are you doing here? Right? If Mandy and Sonya Deville are broken away from each other, now this would leave Tucker out of WrestleMania, which, I mean, Tucker is a part of Heavy Machinery. He deserves to be there and share in the WrestleMania moment with Otis. It's not a entire Heavy Machinery act with just Otis. Tucker is there too. So I don't know how likely of a situation this is, but it could be Sonya and Dolph versus Otis and Mandy at WrestleMania. I'm not sure if I like that because I would rather Mandy still string Otis along and be with Dolph and then eventually turn on Dolph at WrestleMania and then end up with Otis and the big celebratory big kiss at the end. I think that's the way to go. Tucker would be in Otis's corner. Everybody celebrates and Otis gets the girl. I think it's great. I think it's great that this is being talked about as a WrestleMania moment. It should be. Hopefully WWE keeps their word. The Revival. They may have picked out their new tag team name after WWE. We haven't heard a lot about the Revival. Haven't heard a lot about the Revival at all, but Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, their latest trademark filings will only add more fuel to the speculation that they are on their way to AEW when their WWE contracts expire in a couple of months. They might not be able to call themselves the Revival, but they have just trademarked Top Guys, which is a name that they have referred themselves to in NXT and on the main roster. So that appears to be what they will likely call themselves when they leave WWE for AEW. Dawson and Wilder have also trademarked Say Yeah and No Flips, Just Fists. As previously reported, they have retained the services of the same trademark lawyer that handles trademarks for Cody Rhodes, Jon Moxley, Lance Archer, who just signed to AEW. Congratulations to them. That's a good pickup right there. And others in All Elite Wrestling. In addition to the trademarks listed above, Dawson and Wilder are trademarked hashtag FTRKO and Shatter Machine. There you go. They're on their way out, folks, and it's going to be a beautiful day. Why is it going to be a beautiful day? Because I love seeing talent stand up for what is right. They are not being treated right. They will make their money. They will be allowed to do whatever the fuck they need to do to get their names out there and bring the best that they can to AEW. Maybe they show up in New Japan. Maybe they show up in NWA. Maybe they show up in Ring of Honor. But they will end up with AEW. They will be the ones to take the tag team titles away from the Young Bucks. That's my prediction. They're not going to be a game changer. They're not going to be a ratings mover. But I take great pleasure in rooting for someone who stands up for what is right and takes a gamble on themselves. That moral fiber is something that you cannot teach. They know and they have eyes. They're smart guys. They know if they sign with WWE that this division is going nowhere, and they will not be a part of the tag team division in the way that they want. They legitimately want to be top guys. WWE will never give them that spot. Not over the New Day, not over the Usos. They will never look at the Revival in that top spot, especially now after all the back and forth and the 4 times that WWE had to restructure contract offers to hopefully get them to stay, and they turned them down every single time. You think WWE is going to reward the Revival for staying? It's nothing out of their pockets to keep the Revival from, going to AEW. They're going to throw whatever they can and pretend that they're going to be a big deal. And then when they get them, that's when they'll sick their fucking claws into them. That's what's going to happen. Awful. Revival, no. And I'm glad they're taking the initiative to trademark their livelihood and make a career somewhere else and use all of this fucking pent-up frustration and throw it back in WWE's face. I'm telling you right now, the fact that they're going to go somewhere else and show WWE exactly what the fuck they missed out on, how they mishandled them, there is no price tag on that. There's no price tag on that. That is absolutely priceless. I would take great pleasure in knowing you missed out on us. We're doing better than we could have ever imagined. And we're doing so much better than we ever did in WWE. You cannot put a price tag on that. John Cena's plans for SmackDown tonight. It's going to be in Boston. Maybe we'll see Sasha Banks. Maybe we'll see Sasha Banks get announced for the Elimination Chamber. But another Bostonian will be there. From Newbury, Massachusetts, John Cena is on SmackDown making his return. During Wrestling Observer Live, Dave Meltzer brought up WWE's plans for John Cena on Friday Night SmackDown this week. Cena will be brought back for a rare appearance. He likely won't be making any televised dates before the show of shows, so WWE will probably use him as much as possible this week. Bring him back for one show and he won't be making any other shows until WrestleMania? That seems kind of odd, especially if you're doing something with him and The Fiend. I think you're going to need him there at least one more time. Friday in Boston, they're going to do the John Cena angle. It's been hinted to me, but it hasn't been said to me that it is going to happen. It would make sense because I would anticipate John Cena doing lots of TV, so if they're going to shoot an angle, it's going to be Friday. It won't be Elias because Elias is a babyface. Clearly, after Super Showdown, I think everybody is in agreement that it will be Bray Wyatt, which I looked at as not making any sense because how could Bray Wyatt transition from Goldberg losing the Universal title and then focus his attack on John Cena? Doesn't really make sense. You think Bray Wyatt and The Fiend would want the Universal Championship back? For all we know, tonight Bray Wyatt could get a rematch against Goldberg and WWE could take the Backlash and go back to the original outcome. I don't expect that to happen. That would be me putting too much faith in WWE. Could happen, though. In my world, it would happen. In my world, this would never even be a thing, but it could happen. So we'll find out tonight. More than likely not. So it was previously reported that the SmackDown WrestleMania matches are up in the air. We'll go over all that tomorrow. First it was John Cena and Elias. Then it was John Cena and Bill Goldberg. And now apparently it's John Cena and Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, at WrestleMania. Before taking off for SmackDown in Boston tonight, John Cena tweeted out a short message to let fans know that he remembered to bring all of the essentials. Wristbands, checkmark emoji. Jorts, checkmark emoji. Time-bending shirt, checkmark emoji. Heart-pumping adrenaline, checkmark emoji. Boston, you can see me. I know this is you can't see me, but Boston will see him on Friday night. I'm excited for it. Cena is one of the best promos in WWE history. Hopefully he brings the fire. Hopefully he brings the passion. And hopefully we get some sort of remedy for SmackDown side of WrestleMania matches. Because right now it's looking pretty damn grim. And I'm not talking about any toy show. Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was backstage at SmackDown last week. It's being reported that the 3-time World Heavyweight Champion Jeff Hardy, who wasn't in the WWE at all since April of last year, was backstage at SmackDown last Friday. This is a report from PW Insider. They note that he is scheduled to be at SmackDown tonight. So it looks like he'll be with the blue brand, but nobody knows when he's returning to TV. Hardy has been out of action since April due to a knee injury that required surgery, and he's had a very publicized personal, situation going on with his wife and his drunken behavior and his suspended license, his revoked license. It's not just suspended, it's completely fucking revoked. And during that time, obviously, like I said, a public intoxication arrest in July and a DWI, which he was driving with a revoked license back in October. Now, he was supposed to be back in November. And then he had all these things happen. He had to go to court. He had to sit in front of a judge and a jury. And just a fucking mess for Jeff Hardy, man. I hope he is now, A, healthy, and B, finally on the road to just being right. Honestly. I don't want to be sitting here 1 week and eulogizing fucking Jeff Hardy. Now, there is no word on whether Jeff has signed the new contract, with Matt's contract being up on the 1st. That is a Monday. I think it's about Sunday. But Matt Hardy is a free agent come this weekend. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing to think about. Matt, on the other hand, like I said, he is leaving the company on March 1st after a public address where he stated creative frustrations and seemingly he was written off TV by being killed, ultimately by Randy Orton, with a concerto. And they took him out on TV last week, and that was it. Matt Hardy is being rumored to be the Exalted One. Either way, if he's not the Exalted One, if he's going to show up in AEW, he's going to end up with All Elite Wrestling, is what everybody is saying. And that is a perfect home for Matt Hardy. Jeff Hardy, I don't know when you would debut him. In fact, I think with everything that's going on with SmackDown heading into WrestleMania, there really is no role for Matt Hardy on WWE TV, to be brutally honest with you. It's not that I don't want to see Matt Hardy back on WWE TV. I just don't think that Matt Hardy deserves a WrestleMania spot. What did he do all year? He's been out all year. So why would Matt Hardy get a WrestleMania spot when he really hasn't done anything for the brand or a brand? And why would WWE reward him for all of this bad behavior with a spot on WrestleMania? I don't understand it. So I would actually re-debut or have Jeff Hardy return to the WWE on the SmackDown following WrestleMania. That's what I would do. I don't think Jeff Hardy deserves a WrestleMania spot, and I would save him for the SmackDown after WrestleMania. Throw him in the Battle Royal, whatever. I won't even give him that. I don't think he deserves a WrestleMania spot after all that he did. Show me that. You're going to work your ass off and be right and not get in any more trouble. And then at WrestleMania 37 in LA, we'll book you if you're still around. If he stays, if he signs a new contract, or if he doesn't end up joining Matt Hardy over in AEW and AEW gets the Hardy brothers, or the broken Hardys once again in AEW. Should be interesting, man. Save him for SmackDown after WrestleMania. Guys, today's podcast is brought to you by my good friends over at The Ridge. I got the Ridge wallet. I got the Sunburst Titanium, and I absolutely love it, man. I carry it with me every single place I go. You see all my cards in there. Nice and organized the way I like it. It's sleek. It's small. It fits everything I need into one wallet. And when I carry cash, which I never do, really, I have a nice little money clip here, or money band, and it keeps my money safe. The best thing about this, folks, is that it's still in great shape after a year and a half use, and it is RFID blocking, meaning that it has qualities in which all your bank information, all your card information, your ID information will be safe from being compromised from social degenerates out there, from hackers. So that's why I love the Ridge wallet. It keeps you safe, and it's sleek and stylish, man. I feel like when I pull my wallet out, when I go buy a nice craft beer at the bar and I sit down and I put my wallet on the countertop, I know I got the best looking wallet in the entire place, man. I've been using the Ridge, like I said, for a year and a half, and the Ridge is so confident that you'll enjoy the product that they've made it as simple as possible. Free shipping, so you guys get it fast. Free returns in case you don't like it, which I don't know why you wouldn't. And if you do like it, there's a lifetime guarantee. There's also 30,000 plus 5-star reviews, so they have a lot to be confident about. The Ridge is super durable, made from military-grade materials like titanium and carbon fiber. It's proven to be bulletproof, waterproof, and, believe it or not, Jon Moxley proof, chainsaw proof, Terry Funk proof, Chainsaw Charlie proof, Mick Foley proof. You guys get the point. Guys, you guys can get anything from the Ridge. They got not only wallets, but they got knives and backpacks and battery charging stations for your phone, power blocks. They got it all to make your life as easy as possible. If you guys want to get anything on their website, ridge.com/script. You're going to use code SCRIPT at the end for checkout, and you're going to get 10% off. Once again, that's ridge.com/script. You're going to use code SCRIPT at checkout, and you're going to get 10% off plus that free shipping, guys. Support the Ridge as they support the #1 podcast right here in the YWC, Off the Script. I don't know what you guys thought about Monday Night Raw on Monday, but I thought it was a very bad effort. I did not like the show at all. It wasn't a bad show. There are obviously some highlights on the show. Montez Ford and Seth Rollins I thought was very good. I'm a big fan of Montez Ford. I'm not a fan of the Street Profits right now. I'm a fan overall in general of the Street Profits. I wish that they would go back to being the NXT version of the Street Profits, but I'm not surprised that anything the main roster touches, it makes uncool. And the Street Profits really don't come off as being cool. They come off more like the cringe Profits. But Montez Ford showed you every reason under the sun why he's going to be a breakout guy when that time comes and they call upon him to break away from Angelo Dawkins. It's going to be one of those things where Montez Ford is going to be challenging for mid-card titles and maybe a world title. He's got the best-looking frog splash in the WWE. I'd say tied with Kevin Owens. I gotta give Kevin Owens his prop, man. Kevin Owens has a beautiful frog splash. But Montez Ford, man, the height that he gets, man, I love watching him fly in the air. It's a thing of beauty. He really showcased what he can do against Seth Rollins. Angel Garza continues to be absolutely phenomenal. And it's amazing how Angel Garza, man, Andrade came back and he was thrown to the wolves on Super Showdown. He lost to R-Truth. He looked like a fluky finish. And R-Truth got the victory over the United States Champion. That doesn't bode well for Andrade at all. And it's like, oh, look at Angel Garza. He's this new pretty boy. He's the new toy in town, right? And WWE's giving him more shine than they are Andrade. It's like, what is going on here? You know, Andrade waited all these months to finally get a push in WWE, and then all it takes is a suspension, and we got Angel Garza kind of swooping on in, taking his place. I wouldn't be surprised if Vince McMahon's looking at Angel Garza and saying, this kid's got the Eddie vibe. This kid's got the Latino vibe that I want. He's going to be the superstar that I've been looking for all these years to replace Andrade and replace Rey Mysterio as that Latino guy in the company. And he's amazing. He really is. He's a thing of beauty, man. In that ring, he is phenomenal. It's not going to be that long until we see him wearing championship gold. Should be good. Randy Orton continues to be the best thing on this show. He did what he did on Monday with Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens and Randy Orton had a nice back and forth, which set up a very forgettable main event with a crooked ref. It's not like WWE hasn't done that angle before, but this just felt lazy, really. Nobody knew where this guy came from. Nobody knew a backstory on this guy. He wasn't even a fucking official on the roster. He was brand new. It was his first night on the job. Comes out wearing a fucking Seth Rollins t-shirt. Nobody knows. I got news on who he is, obviously, because I do my homework. But Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, they had a great back and forth. And I love Kevin Owens' body language and demeanor while talking about Edge and what Edge meant to him in regards to Randy Orton. Why did you do it, Randy? I look at Edge as a huge influence and blah, blah, blah. And I said it on Monday, Randy Orton doesn't need to do anything or say anything to you people because you should all know why Randy Orton did what he did to Edge. He's a prick. That's what Randy Orton does. Now we got Beth Phoenix on Monday, supposedly giving a medical update about Adam Copeland, her husband. Can't wait to see her get RKO'd. RKO might not be enough. Go the distance. Blood. Shed blood for Randy Orton. Don't show up on Wednesday for NXT. That's what I want to see. Anyway, Monday Night Raw was a down period. Substantial drop in viewers over the 3 hours. The bad news for Raw is it didn't start anywhere with the same level of interest as the previous weeks because WWE tried to capitalize on that Matt Hardy stuff, and WWE tried to capitalize on the Randy Orton Edge stuff. That same level of interest wasn't there. They're waiting for Edge to come back. They're waiting for something to happen here in this storyline that takes it to the next level. We're just kind of waiting it out because Edge only has so many appearances that he could make for WWE TV. But this week's episode was down 9% overall from last week, averaging 2.21 million viewers. And the first hour, week-to-week drop was 16%. The good news is the audience actually rose slightly in the second hour, and the third hour fall wasn't that bad, with only 6% first to third hour drop. Raw was 8th on cable for the night, although it won the 18-49 demo. It even beat both CBS and Fox in the 18-49 demo on Monday, although CBS was an all-rerun programming situation, and Fox was half-rerun programming. The drop from last year was a whopping 24%, but that is misleading, says the report from The Observer, because last year's show featured Roman Reigns' return and giving his medical condition about leukemia, and also featured a heavily promoted 70th birthday party for Ric Flair in which he was destroyed by Dave Bautista, which set up that match with him and Triple H at WrestleMania that year. In particular, women held up well with an increase of 8% in women 18 to 49 throughout the show, as opposed to the usual strong drops, offsetting a 10% drop with men. Teenage girls in particular were up more than 40% from the first hour. By hour 3, and teenage boys were relatively even. The hours were as follows. 8 p.m. was a 2.25, 9 p.m. was a 2.28, and 10 o'clock was a 2.11. I think that's when the Elimination Chamber signing happened in the third hour, if I'm not mistaken, for the women, right? Which was completely ridiculous. Becky Lynch is absolutely garbage the last couple of weeks. I know everybody's been on the Becky Lynch hate train as of late. I want to make it perfectly clear right now. I don't know who's watching me and thinks I hate Becky Lynch, all because I speak negatively on a fucking segment that she's a part of that doesn't make sense. Doesn't mean I hate Becky Lynch. I just want logic when I'm watching my show. If you don't want logic and you want sheer stupidity and shit that doesn't make sense and shit that makes you look like a fucking idiot, then by all means, praise it to the high heavens. But I'm watching this shit and I'm like, okay, Becky Lynch had her neck bit by Shayna Baszler. Then she comes out and steals a fucking ambulance. That same night, steals an ambulance like she's fucking in San Andreas. She drives the ambulance to the hospital, drives herself back to cut a promo in the ring about how she's going to beat the shit out of Shayna Baszler. Then she shows up the next week. I don't know whether she's paying a fine or going to the fucking strip club, but she pays a fine that hasn't even been brought down upon her yet, with singles and $100 bills mixed in. And then she says, I'm paying my fine for what I'm going to do to Shayna Baszler, so here's your money right now, WWE. So she's angry and she's mad and she's paying the fine that doesn't even exist yet. And then on Monday, there's a contract signing. Shayna Baszler shows up purposefully late. Not casually late. It was purposefully late. And she shows up, she signs the contract, and she stands there just dripping and oozing cool. And then she signs the contract. She doesn't look anybody into the fucking eye. Shayna Baszler's there, and then Becky Lynch comes out. We got all this melee happening, and Becky Lynch comes out with these fucking glasses that she got at the 99-cent store. These troll-like, meme-like glasses, and she's walking to the ring, and she's smiling, and she's holding the championship up. This woman didn't come out wielding any sort of weapon. She didn't come out looking for a fight. I know if I got my neck bit by a fucking intruder, I would legitimately go for their throat. And Becky Lynch just parades down the aisle, not giving a shit, not one single care in the world. People are telling me and arguing with me that this is part of her gimmick. She's overconfident, and that's going to be her downfall. I'm sorry. Did she look overconfident when she had her fucking neck bitten in half? Did she have overconfidence when she drove the goddamn ambulance to the local medical facility? And then paid a fine that doesn't even exist? And threatened her? Now she wants to be overconfident. What happened between last week and this week? Stop justifying mediocre garbage. It's not even mediocre. It's fucking trash. Trash! Doesn't make sense. It makes you look like a fucking idiot. She's doing everything. WWE Creative is booking her in a way in which I cannot wait to see her lose that title. Shayna is just cool. Becky is not. Shayna is cool. Becky is cringe. I need to see blood. I need to see arrests. I need to see chaos. I need to see these women carted off in a fucking police vehicle. You did it last year with Ronda. Did it last year with Charlotte. This is Shayna. It deserves the same treatment, if not better. Raw was trash for the most part. That's what I'm trying to get at. WWE. WWE is offering Matt Hardy a spot in NXT to remain with the WWE. And then Rebby Hardy calls Matt Hardy's WWE Raw storylines that he's been involved in here with Randy Orton trash. Don't fuck with Rebby Hardy. Matt Hardy is up March 1st. His contract is up. He hasn't signed a new deal. He's not going to sign a new deal. Whatever WWE is offering him is out of sheer desperation at this point. The company might be able to offer some enticing things to convince Matt to stay with the WWE. Mike Johnson of PW Insider Elite Audio says that he believes Matt Hardy will stay with the WWE. There have apparently been some talks about him working in NXT as part of the ongoing negotiations as well. Mike Johnson says this, and I quote, "By the way, we have had a lot of questions about Matt Hardy. His contract is scheduled to be up March 1st, which is Sunday. A lot of people have asked me what he's going to be doing. This is just my theory. I know that WWE's made a lot of overtures to him in the last couple of weeks. There could have been some talk of him working NXT somehow. My gut feeling is that Matt Hardy will probably stay with the WWE." End quote. Now, it was noted that Matt Hardy could leave the WWE, but Johnson feels that Hardy will stay. He also noted that he hasn't heard any real buzz about Hardy working for All Elite Wrestling, because they're trying to dumb it down. That's why everybody's expecting him to show up, so they're going to do everything to dumb it down. The likelihood of Matt working for New Japan is not going to happen for those thinking and wishing that he's going to New Japan. He could still make some good money on the indies, but at this point in his career, he could also sign another deal for WWE and big money. So we'll have to wait and see what he decides to do in about a couple of days. 2 days, to be exact. Now, Rebby Hardy calls Matt Hardy's WWE Raw storyline trash. If the reports are to be believed, he will be on his way out. The rumors that Matt is heading to AEW to be unveiled as the Exalted One, as the head of the Dark Order. But this is not confirmed as of yet. Even had Evil Uno on Dynamite this past week, saying that Christopher Daniels will be rendered obsolete. When have they ever used that terminology before on AEW Dynamite? I don't think so. Now, it could be one of two things. A, it's Matt Hardy coming in as the Exalted One, but that's a little too blatant and obvious. Or they could be trolling everybody, and that the Exalted One could be Brody Lee. It's the only other name I could see being the Exalted One. I don't even see Brody Lee in that type of role as a leader of sorts. So we'll see what happens. But the rumor is he's going to be the Exalted One. One person who was particularly unhappy with the way Matt Hardy's been treated on Raw is his wife, Rebby Hardy, who didn't hold back when a fan asked why Matt wasn't wearing a neck brace in a photo on Instagram. Because everything is real to these people. Where's the neck brace? Fan asks, where's the neck brace? Rebby replies, in the fucking trash, along with that storyline. There you go. Don't cross Rebby Hardy. Please do not insinuate anything with Rebby Hardy. She will make you look like Seth Rollins, a clown. Now, folks, NXT for Matt Hardy. I can't see it. I can't see it. You know what I do see, though? I see desperation on WWE's behalf. How low do you have to be? How desperate do you have to be to ask Matt? Well, we offered you a contract, and we offered you a contract to stay on Raw, and Matt wants creative freedom. He wants to be creative, and he wants to give back. He wants to work. Who would have thought someone wants to be paid to fucking work? Even though Matt doesn't even give a shit about the money at this point, he wants creativity. He wants his creative freedom to kind of blossom. He wants to fucking have fun. How can he have fun in the WWE? How can he have fun on Raw when they don't allow him to be what he wants to be? He's having so much fun on YouTube doing this broken Matt Hardy shit all over again and finding his old self again. Free the delete. Why would he stay with Raw? Doesn't make any sense. Now, WWE knows he doesn't want to be on Raw, so they offer him a spot in NXT. WWE doesn't think too much in regards to certain situations like this. When I heard this story and I read this story and I seen the highlight here that Matt Hardy is being offered a position in NXT, it's almost as if WWE is conceding to Matt Hardy. Please don't go to AEW. AEW effect is very prominent here, obviously. It's also WWE admitting that the main roster sucks, and they refuse to change it. They refuse to change their ways, and they automatically assume that if they put someone on NXT, they'll be a lot happier. Nobody sees this, right? Do you see it? I know, I see it. Matt doesn't want to be on the main roster, and they don't want him to go to AEW. WWE doesn't have any plans for Matt Hardy to use Matt Hardy in the way he wants to be used on the main roster, so they want to sign him to keep him and then put him in NXT. It's like WWE is outwardly admitting that NXT is the place where everybody wants to be. NXT is the place where everything just runs a lot better. NXT is better than the main roster. NXT is better storytelling than the main roster. NXT is more freedom compared to the main roster. It's like they blatantly are admitting this without even saying anything. This is what I see. This is what I interpret. How desperate do you got to be if you're WWE to not let Matt Hardy go to AEW or Ring of Honor or MLW or NWA or New Japan, whatever promotion this guy ends up in? Who gives a shit? You didn't use him for the duration of the time Jeff was out with injury. So why are you making such incredible strides and efforts to keep somebody when they don't want to be there? Why are you making so much effort and putting so much effort in somebody that you know you're not going to use just to keep them on the roster? Oh, we'll put you in NXT. Matt Hardy doesn't belong in NXT. And even at that point, they figured, well, Matt could go to NXT and we can have broken Matt on NXT and it'll be a way to counter-program AEW. There's always an AEW ring to it, folks. If you think that it doesn't exist in this situation, you're a fucking fool. Matt is done. Matt should be done. Mike Johnson says he has a theory that Matt might be staying. That's his theory. That's not fact. Matt Hardy doesn't need the WWE. In fact, if AEW is already teasing Matt Hardy through the Dark Order, if AEW is already teasing Matt Hardy through Jim Ross, the Bucks of Youth, then he's going to AEW. Whether he's the exalted one or not, I don't give a shit. I want to see that man happy. I want to see that man use his creative outlet to be happy and make everybody watching the show happy. WWE knows they're pretty much not only conceding to what I just mentioned, but it's almost as if they're admitting that Matt Hardy is more than they look at him as. They know that if Matt goes to AEW, I don't know how much of a rating draw he's going to be, but Matt certainly has the potential to be just as big, if not bigger, than he was when we first seen the broken gimmick. That could be huge for AEW. WWE knows that, but they refuse to let Matt be broken Matt because it's not on their itinerary. Nothing is on their itinerary. They could use a shot in the fucking arm. They could use a dose of difference. Let Matt be Matt. Let Matt do for Monday Night Raw and make it cool again. Because right now it's nothing. Right now it's just another 3-hour show, and it's formulaic, it's dull, it's boring, it's stale, it's garbage. Most of the show sucks every week, outside of a segment or two. So why do you want Matt Hardy if you're not going to allow Matt Hardy to be Matt Hardy? Why do you want to keep him away from being happy? Why do you want to bring him down to NXT? AEW. Oh, AEW can't have him, but we'll put him on NXT so he can counter AEW. Because he knows, and they know, exactly what he's going to be bringing to AEW. And Rebby knows it too. And if Rebby is that volatile on social media where she doesn't give any fucks whatsoever, what do you think Matt Hardy's going to do? If Matt Hardy signs with the WWE against his wife's orders, is she going to be very happy? Matt will be sleeping on the fucking couch if that's the case. Matt's gone. And I hope he sticks to his guns. And AEW is looking pretty damn good. Lance Archer, Brody Lee, Brian Cage, eventually, The Revival, Matt Hardy. That's a solid fucking 5-piece right there, man. That's a solid 5-piece chicken tender meal. Fries not included. Fries not included. Making myself fucking hungry after working out at the gym, man. But I can't have fried garbage. I need some good grilled chicken with a nice side of vegetables. Lightly seasoned with salt and pepper. That's about it. But Matt's not going to NXT. He's not staying with the WWE. He's going to be broken and elite. Deal with it. Deal with it. Moving on here, man. Samoa Joe was actually suspended for a violation of the WWE wellness policy. WWE announced this week that Samoa Joe was suspended for violating the company's wellness policy. They issued the following statement. WWE has suspended Samoa Joe for 30 days, effective Monday, February 24, for his first violation of the company's talent wellness policy. Now, there were rumors reported by WrestleVotes a couple of weeks ago that Joe recently failed the company's wellness policy. However, company sources denied that to be the case and cited a concussion as a reason why he was off TV. So it's clear now WrestleVotes was correct. Joe reportedly suffered a head injury last week during a commercial shoot, so he was already off the road again anyway. I don't even know how badly he's hurt. I don't understand this story, but I do know that Samoa Joe is someone who has an incredible fucking just string of bad luck. Now, if Joe was really hurt and he was out for a significant amount of time, and he was supposed to be out a significant amount of time, he had another head injury, head trauma, concussion, whatever. If he was going to be out for an extended period of time, if he was going to miss WrestleMania, why would WWE suspend him on top of him already being out? Wouldn't the logical thing to do be have him get well? Have him get well, because he's going to be out anyway. He's off the road anyway. Have him come back from this other injury, and then maybe suspend him for a previous fucking suspension? For a previous violation? Why would you suspend him on top of him being injured? So it makes me think that Samoa Joe isn't as injured as people say he's injured. I don't know. It's very odd. Now, February 24th, he will be eligible to come back before WrestleMania. He'll have a week and a half to come back for WrestleMania. So WWE could be dicks and not book Samoa Joe on WrestleMania. Or they could book Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens to be in the tag team title match on Raw against Rollins and Buddy Murphy and finish this storyline once and for all. The downside to that and the bad thing about that is we have to see it continue on for another month and a half. And I can't take anymore. Because it's the same old shit every single fucking week. It really is. At this point, just like Corbin and Reigns, nothing is as bad as that. But the same thing with Corbin and Reigns. I don't understand why all of these parties are feuding. What are they feuding over? I don't get it. There's nothing substantial to be fighting over there. Are you fighting for the power of Monday Night Raw? That hasn't been a case. That hasn't been the reason. You didn't give me a reason as to why you were fighting on Monday Night Raw. Are the tag team titles what you're seeking? Nobody made mention of this to me. Am I supposed to guess as to why these two parties are fighting? Why the Raiders are there and Joe and Kevin Owens and AOP and Buddy Murphy and Seth Rollins. Why are they fighting? Why are they fighting? Now, we've seen the 8-man tag. We've seen the 6-man tag. We've seen the tag team matches. We've seen one-on-one. Can't do it anymore, bro. I'm over it. Move on to something else. Start booking the tag team titles in the picture and give them to Joe and Owens. And then when Joe and Owens are your tag team titles, then the fun could begin. They could run through the Monday Night Raw tag team division that right now is non-existent. Maybe the Undisputed Era get called up. So-and-so. Maybe Kevin Owens turns on Samoa Joe. Maybe Kevin Owens joins the Undisputed Era. Maybe Joe turns on Owens. Maybe Owens turns babyface and feuds with everybody in the Undisputed Era. Joe turns heel. Either way, both of them are very interchangeable. They play babyfaces and heels. Incredible. But you got something there. Owens can turn on Joe. Joe can turn on Owens. Tag team turmoil right there between Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe. Kind of books itself. What Rollins does, I don't know. Maybe Rollins and his ministry feud with the Undisputed Era. Who knows? Who knows? All I know is the Undisputed Era, it's about that time they get demoted to the main roster. But Joe is suspended. He's on risky ground with Vince McMahon after this latest injury as well. Dave Meltzer discussed Joe's recent injury, which at this point, I don't even think anybody knows. I'm going to go out there and say and assume that he's not even that injured. Why would you suspend him if he's injured as well? So Meltzer says this. Now, here's the thing. Now we're on risky ground because now we've had 2 concussions in a short period of time, and you know that's when it becomes really concerning. End quote. He's saying that Vince McMahon will look at Samoa Joe as a liability now. They're not going to push Samoa Joe hard like we all want them to push Samoa Joe because he's now a injury-prone superstar. He's a liability. He's a risk now. And not only for his own health will they keep him off TV and away from a major situation, but WWE's not going to put him in a situation where they're full-fledged on Samoa Joe in said storyline, and then he gets hurt so easily, and then they have to rewrite everything, or worst-case scenario, drop said storyline. Risky situation here for Samoa Joe and the WWE. So hopefully he's not hurt, and hopefully it was nothing more than a cover-up for the suspension. I'm hoping that's all it was. Seth Rollins on Raw played a role in the main event with Owens and Randy Orton. Crooked referee made a quick count. Nobody knew what was going on. It was revealed that he has Seth Rollins' Messiah t-shirts underneath. He should have been wearing my Messiah t-shirt. Should have been wearing my Messiah t-shirt. A, it's better looking, and B, Rollins is not your Messiah. I am the IWC Messiah. Follow me, my sons. And that includes referees. If you guys want your own, bonfire.com, go and get yours today. Link is down in the description of this very video. But the identity of this crooked referee has been revealed. Now, who is he? Well, Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful.com have revealed that the referee in question was Jake Clemens. If that has any affiliation with Roger Clemens, I don't know. A referee known around several indie promotions is Jake Clemens. Clemens has had a busy week with turning 28. Happy belated birthday, Mr. Clemens. Refereeing AEW and Smash wrestling shows and being destroyed on Raw by being put through a table by Kevin Owens. He was also set to appear at an Evolve show on Saturday, February 29th, which is tomorrow, which could have been where WWE found him, given the link with Evolve. So that's that. Will he be a new addition to the Ministry of Rollins? Is he going to be a permanent staple on the Monday Night Raw referee staff? I don't know. I don't really give a shit at this point anyway, but that's the referee in question, Jake Clemens, and WWE might have found him given the link with Evolve. Speaking of Seth Rollins, there's a major spoiler on Drew McIntyre's first opponent as WWE Champion. That is, if Drew McIntyre beats Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. Sources indicate that the current plan is that Drew McIntyre will defeat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania to win the WWE Championship. The report then goes on to note that there are already plans in place for McIntyre's programs following the event, and Seth Rollins is currently in line to challenge him in the summer. Great. So how do we get McIntyre to the summer? WrestleMania ends in the first week of April. We got May, June, and July. So we got 3 pay-per-views before you get to SummerSlam. Who are we going to book against Drew McIntyre during his WWE Championship initiation tour? I don't know. Source said this, and I quote, Vince likes everything about him and thinks he represents the company well when he does media appearances. He looks good. He talks good. Now you're figuring that out? I think we all knew that about a year and a half ago, Vince. You're late to the fucking party. And that is what Vince is looking for. Drew already has established a relationship with Vince like most top guys do. End quote. Now, it was added that McIntyre is very unlikely to change his mind and is set, or McMahon, not McIntyre. McIntyre's not changing any mind. It is very unlikely that McMahon is unlikely to change his mind and is set on McIntyre winning. And over the next few weeks on WWE TV, the story of his WWE journey will be told to build up to the big moment. Rollins should be nowhere near the WWE Championship. Nowhere. In fact, I would say Randy Orton needs to be in that situation. And who's to say this is going to remain the plan? WWE more than likely is going to be calling up NXT talent. I think it's about time that Adam Cole gets brought up from NXT, whether it's just Adam Cole or it's the entire Undisputed Era. I don't know. But I could see Adam Cole and Drew McIntyre at SummerSlam, given the circumstance. I think that would be phenomenal. Certainly better than fucking Seth Rollins. It's better than Randy Orton, right? Who else on that show could challenge Drew McIntyre as a heel at SummerSlam? Not many. Could be Adam Cole. Seth Rollins is in the discussion, but I don't think anybody wants to see him back in that role, right? You got Randy Orton. I threw out, and this is totally a WWE thing, I threw out Jinder Mahal, and I know I probably just gave everybody fucking some ear disease thinking of Jinder Mahal versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship on Monday Night Raw. Or better yet, how about WWE has a draft and they move Baron Corbin over to Monday Night Raw and they have Baron Corbin feud with Drew McIntyre? Would you like that? Give me a break. I don't really understand AJ Styles. I could see him and McIntyre feuding. AJ would certainly be a welcome addition back into the main event scene. There are people for him. There are better qualified opponents for him at SummerSlam besides Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is a much better heel than he is a babyface, but Seth Rollins isn't all that entertaining as a heel. He doesn't really have any direction with his ministry right now in the current storyline he's in now. And like I said all those weeks ago, you can make a great story for McIntyre beating Lesnar at the WrestleMania show. You can make a great build leading up to that match. You can win the title. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. WWE, in situations like this, they sometimes get it right. The story is right sometimes. But it's all in the aftermath. It's all in what they do after WrestleMania. It's all in what they do with his reign. And how many times has WWE left you feeling confident about a babyface title reign on a main roster show? I'm not excited. In fact, I'm expecting WWE to let everybody down with Drew McIntyre's push as WWE Champion. I don't think they're going to go about it and make it interesting whatsoever. Not if they're fucking planning Seth Rollins already. Why go back to the same well in which you've been drinking out of? Go and do something different. What about Aleister Black? What about Andrade? What about Ricochet? Instead of putting Ricochet in a fucking match with Brock Lesnar, losing in 1 minute, build him up. Make him something special. How about this one? This one might go over your fucking head. How about we have the King of the Ring in the middle of the summer and make it really important? Stretch it out over both shows. Give Monday Night Raw and SmackDown a fucking must-see feel. Do the 16-man tournament. Fuck! Bump it up to 32! Bump it up to 32. Include NXT in it. Wouldn't that be something? NXT, right? NXT and the King of the Ring. If an NXT superstar wins the King of the Ring, he gets the chance at whoever champion he wants at SummerSlam. Could be. I would like to see that. Have the King of the Ring be your bridge to SummerSlam. Don't automatically pick Seth Rollins, or don't automatically pick this one or that one. I am tired of people getting championship matches for the sake of getting championship matches. I'm tired of people getting championship matches for the sake of, oh, well, this is the guy that WWE is choosing now, and fuck everybody else. Give the championship match fucking meaning. Have the championship match be deserved. How about that? That's the way I do it. Especially at SummerSlam, the King of the Ring should always be the bridge to get us to SummerSlam. Fuck a Seth Rollins. Nobody wants to see him as a world champion again. Believe me. AEW. They beat NXT in the ratings again. Of course they did. Of course they did. And I'm going to pat myself on the back for this one because nobody believed me and everybody wanted to laugh at me. Everybody wanted to criticize me. Oh, JD is negative. What is he talking about? He's an AEW shill. Motherfucker, I'm a NXT shill. Number one, okay? Number two, I am a truth sayer. I give you the truth every single week. There's nothing on this show that I say that I don't stand behind. Everything on this show is me. I tell you here, I tell you in person. No matter who the fuck you are. Don't give a shit. I say it, I mean it. Dynamite, 865,000 viewers, down 3% from last week. In the all-important 18 to 49 demo, the show was down 3%, averaging a 0.3 rating. That allowed Dynamite to finish 9th overall in the cable TV rankings for that category. NXT had averaged an audience of 777. Actually, no, I'm giving them more than they actually got. 717,000 viewers, down 8%. It was their lowest number in 4 weeks. Lowest number in 4 weeks. In the 18 to 49 demo, the episode was down 10%, averaging a 0.23 rating and finishing 17th in the cable TV rankings. For the first time, it was a clean sweep. Clean sweep for AEW in all demos. It beat NXT in every age group, including the 50+. The closest NXT came was in that category with a 0.34 rating to a 0.36 for Dynamite. Ms. and Mrs., which follows NXT on USA, fell out of the top 50 in the 18 to 49 rankings, finishing 62nd, and that came in with a 0.13 rating. Overall, the show averaged a series low 394,000 viewers. Now, NBA basketball was back after the All-Star break, and it was a stronger than usual competition night. Because of that, and from the networks, the news networks, Dynamite and NXT obviously fell. But folks, one thing is abundantly clear, and I mentioned this, and I was right 1,000% of the way, and I can't help but smile. What did I tell you about Charlotte Flair? Yes, it's an AEW tactic. It's a way to counter AEW. But I told you, Charlotte Flair is not a draw. 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 Overload. Overload. Her batteries must have ran out. Her batteries must need a recharging. Maybe they need to upgrade her in the factory in which she came. Charlotte Flair is not a draw, folks. None of the women on WWE are a draw, unless you're Ronda Rousey. Simple. Sasha's not a draw. Becky is not a draw. Charlotte is not a draw. Bayley is not a draw. None of the 4 horsewomen are a draw. Charlotte's on Monday Night Raw, 2.2, 2.3 rating, right? WWE thinks, oh, well, the Queen is going to show up on Wednesday night and we're going to beat AEW in the ratings. We got a match that everybody's been wanting to see. Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair. What happened? Not only did they put on a mediocre match, but Charlotte was not a draw. Charlotte was not a draw. And, by the way, being that there was no NXT review, I gotta mention this here. Holy shit. Did Rhea Ripley look like a complete fucking idiot? If you guys watched NXT, you know what I am talking about. Charlotte Flair got a natural selection on Bianca Belair. She, sloppy, by the way. She goes and gets a chair, and she starts beating down Bianca Belair. Rhea Ripley comes out. This is the same woman who was in the ring with Bianca and Charlotte, and they double-teamed her, slammed her face down on the mat. Why are you coming into our house? If there's one thing you should know, we stand by. We are NXT. She actually defended Bianca Belair against Charlotte Flair, even when they had a match at TakeOver Portland. These are two women battling over the Women's Championship, and they're in tandem against Charlotte Flair. So I'm guessing all of that logic went out the window because Charlotte is attacking Bianca Belair with a chair, and Rhea Ripley's coming out, and she strolls out, and her theme music is going off. You got the big logo on the big screen, and she does the fucking, the whole gimmick that she does where she stomps on the ground, and she fixes her jacket. I don't want to hate Rhea Ripley. But if WWE continues to showcase her in this fucking cringe-like manner, I am going to fucking hate Rhea Ripley. She looked ridiculous. How about Charlotte Flair is in your home and she's running a roughshod over everything, over one of your friends on the roster. She's doing whatever she can to take her out. And you're over there fixing your jacket and you're doing a big entrance like you're wrestling a fucking match, and then you get in the ring, right? And then you embrace the fucking situation at hand. Are you fucking stupid? Who books this shit? Rhea Ripley should be running out there waiting to kick her ass. And she comes out looking like a complete fucking buffoon. I can't stand when I see shit like that. That was awful. Downright awful. And I don't use that word in NXT, but if that happened on the main roster, if it happened in AEW, I'd say the same fucking thing. That is awful. I don't know. I really don't know the logic behind that. It just looks bad. It's badly portrayed. NXT had Finn Balor, and I'm loving Finn Balor, man. He is absolutely... You want to talk about the definition of cool. Finn Balor is cool. Finn Balor is right now at the top of his fucking game. I don't think he's ever looked... And this is going back to his Demon days. The Demon King. Finn Balor has never looked better. He's confident. His mic skills under this new persona, this fucking rough and tough, cool Balor who takes no bullshit from anybody. He's believable when he speaks. And he backs it up in the ring because he's fucking great like I always knew he was. But instead of going for Adam Cole and instead of going for Keith Lee, it looks like we're getting Finn Balor and Walter for the NXT UK Championship. He says he's held the Universal Championship. He's held the NXT title. He's held the Intercontinental Championship. He wants the UK Championship. Finn Balor versus Walter? Bro, I'm down. Now, whether that happens in Dublin or whether that happens at TakeOver in Tampa, I don't know. But you know they're going to load up that fucking show in Tampa. I would not be surprised to see that match on that show. Walter was at last year's WrestleMania TakeOver show against Pete Dunne. So why wouldn't he be at this year's WrestleMania show? Everybody's going to be at WrestleMania weekend. Or everybody's going to be in Tampa, rather, for WrestleMania weekend. Why not? Why not? That TakeOver card is looking fucking stacked, if that is the case. Holy shit. Got a ladder match announced for the Women's Championship, number one contender, Women's Championship. But the Women's Championship won't be on the line. We got a 6-way ladder match, right? That's going to be crazy. If Bianca and Io and Tegan and Dakota are in there, maybe Candice LeRae, maybe throw in a Sasha Banks, right? It's crazy. 6-way ladder match. Gargano versus Ciampa. Cole, the whole role reversal thing. Cole will probably go on to defend the title against Velveteen Dream, just based on how everything is going, because Dream is feuding with the Undisputed Era. Keith Lee, he'll probably go one-on-one with Cameron Grimes, I'm assuming. Given how great both of those guys are, that should be a fucking barn burner. Who the Broserweights defend the title against, it looks like they're being set up against the Grizzled Young Veterans. But They know that some of those matches might look weak. Some of those matches might not be familiar to the NXT audience. Cameron Grimes might not be as over as WWE wants him to be, but a match with Keith Lee is a breakout match. Broserweights versus the Grizzled Young Veterans, that could be a fucking barn burner in itself. The ladder match, Gargano Ciampa, Balor versus Walter, and then Cole versus Dream. I mean, it's not the best takeover ever, but it's obviously a must-see show. I love that Johnny Gargano. We still don't have a reason why Johnny Gargano did what he did, I guess. Tommaso Ciampa says he knows why, but until we hear from Johnny why, after all this time, I want to hear what he has to say, but Gargano had a great visual where he took out Ciampa on NXT and he circled around the NXT TakeOver Tampa logo, which is the best logo for Tampa, the best logo for a TakeOver show, period. Circled it, camera was looking from high above, and he was kind of looking down at it, kind of, I guess, in a way in which, you want to do this? We'll do it at TakeOver. So that's great. And what else do we have on NXT that I really enjoyed? Not much else, really. Not much else really happened. That was pretty much all the big stuff that happened. Bianca Belair should have beat Charlotte Flair. I'm sorry. Bianca Belair should have beat Charlotte Flair, but if this next report clearly is not going to be the case. I'm going to read to you what I got written here anyway, but after NXT, it's not going to be the case anyway. Bianca might win that ladder match, for all we know. Bianca might win that ladder match. Bianca could win the number one contender ladder match at TakeOver, beat Rhea Ripley in the second go-around, and Rhea gets called up. And Bianca's division is the women's division in NXT. Finally. But Bianca Belair is slated to be in the mix with Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley going into WrestleMania. Then this is coming from Mike Johnson of PW Insider Elite Audio. He says this, and I quote, "This is not a one and done with Bianca and Charlotte and their rivalry. I am told that they will be going forward with Bianca in the mix leading up to WrestleMania. I don't know if it'll be a three-way, but I do know the Bianca stuff will be seen elsewhere other than NXT. They certainly left the door open for that. Charlotte attacked Bianca's leg before Rhea Ripley tried to come out and make the save. But if that's the case, they left the door open for Bianca looking for even more revenge on Charlotte. Is it going to come out of the blue when nobody expects it on Monday Night Raw? Charlotte came to NXT to beat Bianca. Is Bianca going to show up on Raw and take out Charlotte? Could be. Like I said, the door is open. Making the NXT Women's title match at WrestleMania a triple threat match is the most logical of fucking creative decisions. Now, based on what we've seen with Goldberg and The Fiend, clearly WWE is not moving away from what they want, because it makes too much sense. They do everything the opposite of what makes sense, clearly. So if this is the situation, we're not getting a triple threat match because it makes too much sense and WWE doesn't want to do that. And unless WWE plans change moving forward, and unless WWE plans on giving Charlotte Flair the title and sending her back to NXT, they need someone to pin. Rhea Ripley shouldn't be pinned or submit, given her current status as the top female for the black and gold brand. You never know what's going to happen here. This is why I say, what, is Charlotte going to win the title? Do you honestly think Charlotte's going to lay down at WrestleMania for Rhea Ripley? Give me a fucking break. Charlotte's going to win we could see Charlotte win the title, Bianca win the ladder match, and get Charlotte versus Bianca at another TakeOver show, and Bianca beats Charlotte Flair for the Women's Championship. Or you could do what I suggested to do, which is the most easiest of situations. Add Rhea Ripley to the fucking match, make it a triple threat, have her pin Rhea, have her win the title at WrestleMania, and then call Rhea Ripley up to the main roster to continue feuding with Charlotte and have Bianca own the division. Simple. And give that ladder match and that number one contendership to Io Shirai. Done. Done. I have spoken. So, unless Bianca is going to show up on Raw, she might be done in this particular situation. Rhea Ripley, speaking of her and Charlotte Flair, she's being compensated very much for this WrestleMania angle with Charlotte Flair. Dave Meltzer says this, and I quote, Rhea Ripley would be getting her NXT contract, and in theory, she would be getting bonuses for the Raw shows that she does. So she's being paid like an NXT contracted talent, and she's getting big bonuses, and I'm sure a big WrestleMania bonus for competing in that women's match with Charlotte Flair. So there you go. She's just not working for free. I didn't expect her to. Some AEW news to close out this very long podcast, and I don't believe I got through it, but I did. AEW Dynamite's been on fire as of late. Tony Khan has had a major influence backstage on Dynamite, in which they've put on their best shows to date. Not this week. This week was good. The Iron Man match was fucking incredible. But the previous 2 weeks were incredible. The best shows that Dynamite has put on. PW Insider is reporting that the show in which the Tag Team Battle Royal opened the Wednesday night Dynamite show, that was envisioned and laid out and put together by Tony Khan. Also involved in putting together the match was BJ Whitmer, QT Marshall, and the Young Bucks acted as the glue between the producers and the talent. Another interesting note is that Khan came up with the idea for Sammy to hold up the cue cards to cut promos during the picture-in-picture ad breaks. Darby Allin has now adopted that technique for promos since he lost his voice, being that the Inner Circle has destroyed his throat with his own skateboard when Guevara jammed his throat against his skateboard a few weeks back. Allin returned to get revenge this past Wednesday. The call for the lights to go down before he came out to the ring was also a Khan directive. I didn't really like that all that much, but it played up the fact and the fans ate it up and they went crazy for it. So the more Tony Khan does, the more practice he gets. And whatever was going on the last 3 weeks with Dynamite have been fucking great. So whatever is going on, keep it that way. I'm enjoying Dynamite more now than ever, and it's finally starting to come into its own, and it's only going to get better. Jon Moxley says winning the AEW title is more important to him than the WWE Championship. Now, we all know that Moxley and Jericho, main event, Revolution, Saturday night. I'll be here covering the show. Moxley did a recent interview with Sportskeeda ahead of his title match where he spoke about what it would mean for him to capture the World Championship. This is where Moxley made it known that winning the title in All Elite Wrestling will mean more to him than winning the WWE title. Best way I could describe it is that it will be a giant sense of relief. I've been pushing that boulder up the top of the hill and had to get it to roll all the way back down so many times, and I felt like I disappointed so many fans by failing to win the title so many times. Once I finally was able to check that box and get that thing, the biggest feeling, honestly, was relief. This, I feel, will be a far greater feeling. You know, this is me, on my own, doing things my way. Totally different situation, not even comparable situation, as good as a night as that was. This is more of a symbolic title victory for Jon Moxley than the WWE Championship. And he took a risk for himself to leave the WWE, the cozy confines of WWE, making all this guaranteed money and being a part of the WWE machine where he knew by taking that contract he would be taking complacency. He's working, doing things the way he wants, under the character that he wants, wrestling a style that he has always wanted to do. And he's a major part of a brand new growing promotion in which he is absolutely one of the faces of. So winning the World Championship in this company obviously means more to him than the WWE, because when he does, not only will it be all the hard work that he did to get here, not only will it be a big fuck you to everybody in WWE who, like Seth Rollins said, oh, Moxley took his ball and he went home, right? Meaning that you'd never find success in the WWE. You're either with us or you're against us. You either stay and you do what we do, or, you know, you get the fuck out. Blah, blah, blah. Shit like that. It's more of Moxley took his ball and went home, more of a way that he's not going to succeed without the WWE machine behind him. Like everybody kind of wrote him off if he wasn't with the WWE. Like he's got to be with the number one promotion to find some sort of success in this industry. Clearly he's doing his thing. Clearly he's one of the best parts of Dynamite. He's a great fucking wrestler. We've seen this new attitude about him. This new vibrant attitude. He's just refreshed. He's excited. He's happy. And having the AEW World Championship with a company that has 22 weeks of TV under its belt, if Tony Khan is bestowing that title on him, that means that Tony Khan is showing Moxley exactly how much faith he has in Moxley to be the face, the man, the number one guy in that company. Of course that's important, because he would never have gotten that opportunity in the WWE again, especially standing next to Rollins and Roman Reigns. He was always looked at, and this is the God-honest truth, he was always looked at as the third wheel. In AEW, he's driving the fucking Mack truck. Honestly. Guys, I'm getting out of here, and I'm done. Nice show today. Awesome. Love it. I'll be back on Saturday with more news and rumors, AEW Revolution predictions, WrestleMania news, Super Showdown news, and anything else that comes to my mind right here on Off the Script. Guys, make sure you check out my sponsor today, ridge.com/script. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's on Twitter and Instagram. Check out all the other content that you might have missed on the channel. Links will be down below. Go and get my brother's new track, Voices of the Voiceless, linked down below. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell. Hit the thumbs up. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And if you guys want to go get your t-shirt, follow me, my sons, and become a part of my disciples, or become one of my disciples and a part of my ministry, I should say. Man, I botched that, but oh well. Oh well, go get your fucking t-shirt. And that is on bonfire.com, the exclusive home of the YWC Messiah t-shirt. Got some other merchandise things brewing. Might have some hats for you relatively soon. Just gotta nail down what I'm gonna do with that. That should be very good come baseball season. I can't wait. Guys, hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and I'll be right back here on Saturday with more Off the Script for episode 315. Have a great Friday. I'll see you tonight for SmackDown, and right back here on Saturday with Off the Script.